Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Monday, September 19th, 2022, a little after 3 p.m. Eastern. Something that's challenging for us is, and for every one of us, I believe, I really don't believe that there is anyone that completely, as Osho stated, whatsoever you come across as God, you, the people you love, and the people you hate or dislike are all manifestations of God. And the moment one recognizes that all as one, love arises on its own accord, Osho. Now, obviously, we come across people that physically, interacting, and there's just some people that we prefer not to associate with. And I think we all at times have that. We prefer not to associate with them because we're interacting with the physical, the body, and not the God. There was a guy by the name, you can probably find his book still, but his name was Leo Buscaglia. And he started this, he's a pretty good-sized guy. I think he was about 6'5", 6'6", something like that. And he started this motion where everybody he met, okay, doesn't matter, stranger, anybody, he would give them a big warm hug. It didn't matter who they were, how afraid they were, how much social distancing they were used to, or how much insecurity. So he would open his arms to every human being that he ever met, that he had never met before. And the hugging, it eliminates separation. Who knows how many of us have had a genuine full body hug. And that's one of the things on this planet that, here in the West, here in the United States, we don't have a lot of. And eliminating the feeling of separation and stop believing that new people are strangers who you should be cautious of, okay? Now, when you open your heart up, genuinely, something dramatic and deep begins to shift inside of you. And people who discover this, because more and more people are discovering this, is that the life they once lived, which felt separate and distant from others, soon became warm, fearless, and healing. So they stopped feeling lonely and socially insecure because they were forming a new open-hearted, close relationships that were based on a warmth that was beyond all of our social fears and programming. Now, what you find interesting is that in just a few months of doing this, of forming a real bodily connection, it's almost like you've got to retrain all these new people to automatically open their arms to you. And then they would give you the biggest hug whenever you would meet again. Now, it becomes an assumed behavior that we would embrace. And this deepens our trust in each other and for life. Now, Europe, in some parts of the planet, that's just the norm, where people hug and, I'm not into the cheek thing on each side, and I'm talking about a smackdown, full body hug. Okay? But you look at all of the stuff that this social structure has been trained that, you can't, you don't do that. So you imagine that you get to the point with a civilization, right, where you instantly open your heart and hug upon your first greeting. For the very first time, you feel as if your heart had a warm, cozy home inside of every person that lived in your community. And becoming a master hugger is a very dangerous practice for the ego. Okay? That requires a delicate balance of giving and receiving love. It honors where people are at in their ability to let in love, and yet lives under a very radical and rebellious assumption that most of society needs to hug each other more frequently. This doesn't mean that you're running up to embrace every single person you see on the street. Although, it's probably not a bad recommendation seeing what happens just by making a free hug sign on the sidewalk, as these beautiful, brave souls have done, that there's people that have done this. A free hug sign on the sidewalk. The hugs that I invite you to create are deeper and longer held hugs that contain a natural heart-opening effect on the nerves in these bodies. Now, you may find that when your embrace lasts longer than 10 seconds, you start to awaken a deeper connection to your heart and spiritual resonance together. As their heart opens, your heart opens even more. And you both relax into the source of love, and your meeting becomes an overflowing of genuine, fearless energy that you just have to share with everyone else you meet on the street. And you know what's interesting? Of course, COVID, it really put a damper on many things, but even before it, we are all craving connection more since the pandemic, whatever you want to call it, began. And some people even feel that life has become illegal to hug in public or just feel closely connected with others. Now, more and more people, for them personally, they just don't care anymore if the other person is going to be scared, offended, or frozen if they open their arms wide to offer a hug to them. They can run away and hide in their overly sanitized world if they need more false safety. And now, more than ever, truly, for all of us, it's going to be greatly needed through this transition that we're in. We have all, right, in the last few years, especially on this compression that was portrayed on society and civilization, allowed so many ridiculous social rules to dictate our social And I think a lot of us have just had enough of this crap. Feeling, the lockdown feeling that endorses fear and stops everyone from connecting in normal, relaxed acts of closeness. And people are going to need these hugs. Not yelling and screaming and ridiculing and judging, but hugs. And one of the keys of bringing this planet, the civilization, close and bring this world into a new enlightened era, all of us on our own must choose, right? Because it is choice, that we must start on an individual level, even though we're not separate. But let's just with the bodies. Love is our true essence. And love has no limitations on caste, religion, race, or nationality. We are all beads strung together on the same thread of love. And to awaken this unity on this planet and to spread to others, and love that is our inherent nature, is the true goal of human life. Amachi, the hugging saint. You can read about Amachi. Excuse me. Amachi was the hugging saint. Now, there are many, many, many sacred healing resources hidden inside of everyone that are not so easily accessed until we feel a sense of connection or oneness. Deeply healing thoughts and feelings, tapping into the highest states of enlightened consciousness, are truly just a few choices away. However, for us to find these inner gold mines takes the willingness and devotion to stop playing the fear game and do some spiritual digging. We all must choose to embrace our fears and explore these old trenches we've been buried in to discover this profound treasure. I'll give you kind of a little rundown, if you will. You picture two people hugging, right? And you kind of visualize this. The brain's desperately trying to slow down time while these two people are hugging. These are the energies. Eyes are closed, but pupils still dilating. Mouth sighing silently. Heart skipping a beat. And there's, it's interesting because we've been so taught and so conditioned as a people of this planet. In a lot of ways, there are many different forms of sexuality, orgasm, and everything, but we've been taught that a lot of it's bad and nasty and evil and vile. And the Victorian age did that to humanity. And to give and receive the ultimate hug to the opposite sex or same sex, you must understand that every heart-to-heart meeting is the divine opportunity for everyone to relax, rest, and dive deep within themselves. The hug may last 3 seconds, 3 minutes, or maybe become a 3-hour horizontal cuddle. It's all good. Anything is possible in Hugville. It all depends on our intention, how to open our hearts, how to open your heart, and how open your heart can get, and the level of bodily communication you create. The secret is not being attached to any outcome and making every embrace a genuine, meaningful meeting with your hearts, is a truly mind-opening experience. You've ever today, in this now, if you have done this, maybe not, you maybe thought about it, right? But when, you ever notice how people hug, okay? Where they touch their chest, or not even that, their upper thoracic area, the clavicle area, that just down from that. They just kind of bump, and it's the emotion there isn't there. It's just fake. Fear is what causes it, of course. Can't get too bodily close. Might get the wrong impression, and all these ego mind things. It's just absolutely ridiculous. It all depends on our intention, on how open our hearts can get, and the level of bodily communication we create. The secret is not being attached to the outcome and making every embrace a genuine, meaningful meeting with your hearts, which is truly mind-opening experience. The ultimate hug begins with the ultimate intention, which is to embrace from both sides that our hearts are. The gateway to entering an experience of our own divinity, for example. Imagine you just died, your body, right? And now we're going to step through the glass of heaven and into the heart of God. What can you imagine it would feel like? When you step into this sacred place inside yourself, the other person will feel a shift in their heart as well. We are all connected in this vibration. Through a conscious intentional communication with your heart, your hugging practice with others will soon become a joyful habit that everyone looks forward to. Your life will soon manifest into the most amazing joyride that anyone could possibly experience. Now, see, hugging is really interesting because, and I know some people think it's silly, but that's neither here nor there. But there are many different ways to blend the body in a hug. Not just, where you frontally just meld together head to toe and put your arms around each other. There's many wrappings with the arms and the hands and the connections of hugging. And see, isn't it interesting that when we came into these bodies as babies, right, in the baby body, we were always being hugged. Kissed, for the most part, kissed and hugged and laughter and joy. But watch what happens to us when we become conditioned from other people's thoughts. So when you get the character and the personality given to you by others people's thoughts, and then you get these fears, right? And these different fears. Fear of hugging. A lot of people have a fear of hugging. And that's why, have you ever come across somebody, expression-wise, for our civilization? It's a natural state of being. But yet, a lot of us choose to be aloof, not express that. Fear of misinterpretation, fear of this, fear of that. Now, here's the ultimate hug. Okay, I'm gonna give you 4 steps to experience the ultimate hug. First step, which a lot of people have a difficult time doing because they don't know who and what they are. Look people in the eyes when you meet them. Smile and give a first initial "I appreciate you" greeting just from your eyes. We know that the eyes are literally the windows to the soul within that body. So let the love come through them. Love the other person, not because you should, but because they are lovable, need love, and are available for receiving love. Create this about giving love from your soul, the God within the soul, and also receiving any love that you need to. And this is not about trying to get them to give love back to you, yet be open to that when it does occur. Hugging is about intimacy and creating a connection with human beings that breaks through all of our fears, walls, and limitations. It's very therapeutic. Now, second step, allow your chest to physically touch the other's chest. Embrace their body in the most gentle, slow, and loving manner that is deeply welcoming them into your heart. Now, when the other embraces you, rest in the other person's heart. Surrender any walls or fears you have and melt for a few moments into the other's body. Take a deep breath together with the person and exhale together. Ask them to breathe with you if they are open to it. Allow your heart to open and connect with the heart and being of the other soul. The third step, remain centered in your body as you embrace and surrender to the other. This is not about giving your heart away to the other person. They already have a heart. So what would they need a second heart for? Enjoy the process of finding the balance point in the very center of yourself in this experience. Depending, it may become erotic or exotic. If you're attracted to the other, yet allow yourself to remain connected to your center, your heart, your truth, and your essence. Merge, yet remain centered in the merging. It can be very easy to get lost in the other or to remain distant, separate, and in control. Find the middle path where you can breathe with them and be in their energy field and deeply rooted and centered in your essence at the same time. Now, fourth step. When your bodies physically meet, find a level of full bodily embrace that feels enjoyable, healing, healthy, and relaxing for everyone involved. Some people will keep their pelvis, their sex center, pulled back so as not to get too close, while others may push into you. Just find the middle ground where you're not resisting nor pushing, yet meeting them with the heart, belly, and hips evenly. It does take practice, yet this is about learning how to let go of layers of social fears and sexual inhibitions we didn't even knew we had. To reach the more advanced levels of hugging, you may need to talk openly about these 4 steps in detail with your friend or partner. Practice hugging many times a day and get comfortable feeling what a real juicy hug is like for you. Now, a few tips for this that will make hugging anyone the most exciting and exploratory adventure. The moment The moment before you embrace, close your eyes and imagine exploring each new hug as if you were falling into the arms of God. Because in actuality you are. It's as if you just arrived in heaven and are greeted by the angels. Feel as if you're coming home to the greatest love in the universe. Trust this experience each time you hug someone, and soon you completely transcend all old inhibitions and fears. Another tip is to just open your arms and smile whenever you meet someone new. Okay? Don't worry about their reaction. Because you're hugging a part of yourself. The God within you is the God within them. Don't even think twice about it. Just do it. While you are genuinely smiling, most people will just copy whatever you're doing and open their arms too, because social rapport is embedded into our very core. Most people don't want to seem distant, cold, or closed down. So embrace them and love them as long as is comfortable for you and them. Make it a habit of placing a hand for a few moments on someone's shoulder or arm when talking to them. Now, see, I've done that in different cases, different situations, but, there's people have these phobias, and they're fearful of things because they don't know who and what they are, right? They haven't surrendered to themselves. They have challenges with themselves. So they become fearful. Because you notice how they respond, with either softening or freezing up. That's what happens. You place a hand for a few moments on someone's shoulder. You ever done that? You just kind of touch them. Not a big deal. You're touching their shoulder, talking with them because you want to. The walls always want to melt, yet often are too afraid to know how. You ever been in that situation? You like the touch, but you don't. You're kind of. You don't know how to respond. You would like to respond, but you're afraid. You're afraid to know how. Think that each connection you have with everyone you meet is an opportunity to liberate fear, especially those who are cold, resistant, and truly need a hug. Whenever you first meet someone new, just simply open your arms wide and see how they respond. Now, some will go, "Oh, what's this about?" Maybe half of them will smile, open their arms, and embrace you. And don't have any expectations. This is a deeply transformative, heart-opening practice that will change your entire life in more ways than you could ever know. Another tip is to practice tuning into your sensitivity, to know how long to hug the other until they feel you in a deep and meaningful way. Do not get discouraged if or when you or your partner freak out and step away after the first few seconds. You may not be able to immediately find, this ultimate cosmic hugging experience. It may take time before some people trust this feeling of being embraced with deep eternal love. It can help to educate your community and even share with everybody you can. It's a divine experience. Life is like a camera. Just focus on what's important. Capture the good times. Develop from negatives. And if things don't work out, just take another shot. Practice trust in letting fear go. We're we're a civilization of fear. All of us, we have certain things that we fear. One of the most challenging and rewarding things we can do on this planet is to learn how to face our fears and truly connect deeply with people. This means being able to engage freely with others on the deepest emotional, spiritual, mental, and physical level. When we are connecting with others fearlessly in truly intimate, heart-opening ways, we open up to new energies of love, lightness, and joy within ourselves. This is a fresh, rejuvenating feeling which offers the incentive to explore the deeper and more beautiful, mysterious aspects of our spiritual nature. The easiest and fastest way that I have found to shift out of any fearful head trip is to take a deep breath and give myself permission for others to see and feel the real me inside. Now, it's not always easy because it eludes the other to believe that they also need to do the same. Yet revealing that which cannot or should not be revealed often allows a deeper trust to come in. And this trust is the most essential aspect of being a fully alive, spiritually awakened human being. Remember, we are not here just to survive the system and become an accepted member of society. We are here to celebrate this life, to dance, sing, play together, and enjoy this amazing sensual body that we all have. In order to do this, we need to bring awareness to the fear-based system that has educated everyone to remain separated, isolated, on the phones, and lacking intimacy. Awareness brings about the ability to transcend. The more we are aware of this old programming, because that's what it is, the easier it becomes to go beyond it. Now, especially now, with everything transpiring on this planet, more than ever, I feel so strongly in my heart that we need to teach our children how to liberate ourselves from any fear of breaking any social distancing rule. These rules have been planted in such old, deep soil within everyone from generations ago, back when we were a child. We were probably not aware of how deeply they were rooted and functioning in everybody around us in everyday life. To be free from the generations of disconnection means we must choose consciously to invite in the reconnection and imagine ourselves opening up to a new future that is healing, warm, and beautiful. As a baby, hugging is in some ways a spiritual practice. As a baby, as all of us as babies, we came into this world completely unrestricted, unguarded, and unafraid of being intimate with others. Totally. We were a bubble of bliss, and our heart was naturally open, fearless, deeply eternal loving. We were constantly merging with everyone and everything we met. Giving and receiving touch was as natural as breathing, right? Then, throughout our childhoods, a tight grid of social rules was unconsciously implanted in us. Now that we are full-grown adults on the path of healing, personal growth, and self-realization, our job is to liberate ourselves from every single limitation that has been imposed upon us. We are here to find freedom from every mental, emotional, social, physical, and spiritual prison that we're living in. We are here to grow beyond all these walls. Breaking free from limitations is how we experience freedom. Breaking free from limitations is how we experience freedom. These social rules are imperative to break free from, as hugging does not hurt others, yet only helps them to face their fear and become free from it. Yet, this level of liberation I'm speaking about is not just about going beyond the old COVID-19 social distancing laws. This freedom is much more evolved than that. This path is about finding freedom within ourselves that is so enormous, so ecstatic, and full of aliveness that every societal rule must bend and bow down on the path to greet us. Now, it depends. If you're motivated, interested in discovering a new level of inner freedom and liberation in your life, my invitation for you is to start breaking free from that social programming that says, quote, keep to yourself. And God forbid, don't physically touch anybody you don't know. Keep to yourself, and God forbid, don't physically touch anybody you don't know. Try on something radical and completely new here. Explore what it's like to reformat your social software to experience physical touch in everyone you know and don't know. I've lost track of how many times I've met a stranger, right? I'm going to meet with them and in person. And so I put my arms out, and they're like freaking, right? And then I just go ahead and hug them, and they're like frozen. Our lives on this planet are meant to be juicy spiritual adventures overflowing with absolute aliveness. We are not here to just get by, survive, or exist in a perpetual feeling of being separated, isolated, or avoiding touching other people. Human beings need gentle, warm, physical touch every single day to truly remain vibrant, happy, and healthy. It is vital and essential for our spiritual journey to be touched by others in order to welcome in a state of true mental, emotional, and physical health. But you see how, I know that everyone's feeling in their heart minds what's actually been going on this planet for a long time. Human beings need gentle, warm, physical touch every single day to truly remain vibrant, happy, and healthy. It is vital and essential for our spiritual journey to be touched by others in order to welcome in a state of true mental, emotional, and physical health. The time that we have left here on earth is precious. It's not worth wasting a single day feeling distant and separate from others. Imagine how your heart will feel over the next 5 years if and when you become devoted to replacing every potential socially awkward and distant hello with a heartwarming hug. It's the heart that is the doorway to our souls and then our God that we are, and spiritual journey. Open it wide, and the most amazing life will follow. Enlightenment for all of us begins the moment when we are not and God is. It is a moment of absolute harmony. A window opens and you can see the whole sky. You are no more confined within the walls of your body and mind. A lightening happens and old darkness disappears. Osho. All of us can choose at any time to listen to our own heart that is our only teacher. Okay. Listen to your own heart. It is your only teacher. And I think we've all been through this, haven't we? Right? At first, it may seem unnatural and fake to open your arms to a new person. A non-hugging family member. Have you ever been through that? A non-hugging family member or someone in your community who you just don't associate with on that physical heart-to-heart level. Now, the hug may feel like you're hugging a stiff oak tree where you might receive a painful slap on the back. However, this new ultimate hug lifestyle that you're learning and choosing to learn begins with the patience that comes with teaching others how to hug. And you know something? There aren't many people that know how to hug. Let them know why you are doing this hugging practice and what it means to your life. Being radically honest with people will only liberate you and them. You have nothing to lose but your ego and your previous relationship with fear. With a bit of practice, we will soon find each new embrace becomes easier, more fun, and cozy than the last. In a very short while, you'll find the community around you then becomes a doorway to deeper healing and transformation within yourself. When we stop caring about the social boundaries people have around truly embracing another being, we realize that there is an entire world of loving hearts available for us to connect with. Through radical, playful honesty with others about your new hugging life mission, you will free the mind from all social inhibitions and find the trust and the love that will guide you. It is through your devotion to melting the walls everyone has around their hearts that the right words and actions will come to you and will turn any socially awkward situation into the most enlightening and heart-healing, opening connection. Always remember that the heart is the doorway to God. There is no other doorway but through the heart to God, the God within you that is you. There is nothing more socially powerful and personal than experiencing a deep merging embrace with a genuine heartwarming hug. By implementing hugging strangers as a simple daily practice, you will mend the many years of deep, fragmented feelings you may be carrying inside you. Most of us, not everyone, but most of us, are crying inside, desperate for someone to be courageous enough to break free from the overly controlled, rigid social system that is trying to make everyone afraid of catching the flu, which has a 99.9% chance of survival. The sun shines down, and its image reflects in 1,000 different pots filled with water. The reflections are many, but they are each reflecting the same sun. Similarly, when we come to know who we truly are, we will see ourselves in all people. When we come to know who we truly are, we will see ourselves in all people. Amachi, the hugging saint. Now, you might have come across people, right? I guess you could call them a hugaholic. They're always wanting to hug and touch and feel and everything. The ultimate hugger is called a hugaholic. This person is addicted to hugging others, yet is not coming from a needy, desperate desire to be touched. They're also not trying to be an efficient, effective professional hugger who is trying to open up all the wounded hearts of the world. The real hugaholic is the one who is into expanding consciousness, opening up the love inside the heart, and consistently melting through the fearful egoic walls people have around theirs. All socially acceptable and unacceptable behavior comes from one place, the ego. And when you break through any social taboo, such as hugging someone for 15 minutes in public, an entire universe of healing and seeing the unlimited possibilities of love will definitely start opening up inside you. Now you imagine, right? You're with a friend and you're walking through a mall or, area, right? And the two of you decide to just hug. Full body hug, arms wrapped around each other, heads nestled on each other's shoulders, and just for minutes upon minutes hugging. Wouldn't it be interesting to film what the spectators, how they respond? Wouldn't that be interesting? When we start our hugging practice with people, we might find a fear arises inside us from approaching those who aren't okay with intimacy or their own sensuality. When you can break free from any fear of intimacy, you are empowering yourself in more ways than you realize. This fear comes from our survival instinct, which is terrified of being vulnerable. There is a deep inherent need to connect with people physically, and yet finding how to have real intimacy and healthy boundaries is the key. The thing that we run from, is the thing we run towards. All of us crave intimacy and are terrified of it. When we stop avoiding connection and start hugging new people we meet, I guarantee you that you'll see all your fears easily evaporating every single day. The intimate connection with the unknown is the greatest fear we have. The intimate connection with the unknown is the greatest fear we have. The truth is that everyone is on the same level when it comes to love, because we all have a deep humility found inside our hearts. Every single one of us yearns to be held, loved, and cherished, and this experience can be found inside every single being on this planet. This entire universe is conspiring to give you everything you want. This entire universe is conspiring to give you everything you want. Abraham Hicks. It's an invitation for all of us to open our minds this year to go on a real hugging adventure. Make the commitment from now on that each person you meet, you will naturally allow yourself to open your arms, move towards them with a loving smile, relax into your heart, and explore the magic that happens when you embrace. It could be a male or female, it doesn't matter. What does matter is that you devote yourself to this hugging practice every day. And you know, it's really interesting. Have you ever hugged yourself? That's interesting. Every day? Begin by breaking all the social hugging boundaries that you can. Hug your neighbor, the manager who you were upset with, your neighbor who you never talked to, and yes, even the clerk behind the cash register. Get into the hugging habit with everyone new, especially when it feels uncomfortable. You just don't know how important our hugs may be for people. You don't know. They might be considering committing suicide that evening, and that warm hug from you might have just saved their life. You just never know. That one person who's not so good at social interactions and perhaps has not been touched or hugged for many years, maybe right in front of you, standing in front of your bathroom mirror. All of us are an amazingly sacred gift to this world. All of us are an amazingly sacred gift to this world. Make hugging your lifestyle, and you'll see how every interaction is a potential meeting with divinity. All of us, even the ones that are bitter and hateful and have had so much trauma happen to them in their lives while in that body, that's love under pressure, are loved deeply and eternally. This world is our hugging playground. Being a human being at this time in life is a tremendous opportunity for healing. Use each day as a catalyst for your spiritual growth in this lifetime. Be responsible to see how all the people you interact with along the way are perfect hugging mirrors for you. Each person is reflecting deeper levels of what is happening within your innermost hugging process. You will find that the more you are open, fearless, and intimate, you can engage with others, interacting in a way that feels genuinely healing, liberating, and loving. then naturally each moment of life becomes this sacred healing source that finds its way into your heart, falling into every crack and crevice of your being, creating a warm, welcoming, cozy embrace is another, with another, forces us instantly to melt how sacred, isolated, and lonely we truly are. Most people are so afraid of rejection that they cannot take the risk to open their arms to hug another. The fear of being shunned, unaccepted, and avoided is so painful that they would rather remain closed and distant, being free from emotional risk. The challenge to this is this irrational fear can be so pervading that this energy can have a paralyzing effect on every single social interaction you have. Now, if and when you look at your own social fear, what thoughts and feelings do you have that stop you from giving everyone a hug? If there was a part of you that wasn't afraid of intimacy, how young would this part be, and what fearful story would it be telling? The energy that we spend in trying to connect with certain people is the exact same energy proportionally to what we're spending trying to avoid certain other people. We all need support on some level, and digesting positive, uplifting information is one of the best ways to help shift our energy and uplift our consciousness in a very quick and effective way. We will eventually learn how to raise our vibration so that we are manifesting the life we've always wanted. In every moment, we have the golden opportunity to choose trust over fear. I'll join you in the meditation, and I'll return to close it. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out of the mouth. The present moment, this very now moment, is all we have. Don't waste time reliving your past or worrying about what may happen tomorrow. Simply relax into the beauty of this divine moment of your life and know that only this moment is real. And be sure to enjoy whatever illusions pop up along the way. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night the following morning. We will return here Tuesday, September 20th, 2022, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call.